Imagine a 27-inch 4K QD-OLED gaming monitor with up to 240Hz refresh rate, 0.3 milliseconds GTG response time, and up to 99% DCI-P3 color accuracy with all the bells and whistles you'll ever need for a competitive advantage. That's what the ROG Swift OLED PG27UCDM has to offer. This monitor is simply amazing from its design and build quality to features, performance, and most importantly, text clarity, making it ideal both for gaming and productivity. In this video, I'll share with you 5 reasons why you should consider the ROG Swift OLED PG27UCDM and a few considerations to provide you with a properly informed decision. With that said, let's get into it. As always, honest disclaimer, this video is not sponsored or paid, and I just borrowed this from ROG Philippines to experience it and give you my honest thoughts. They will not see this video or my script prior to release. Now, before I share with you the 5 reasons, let's take a quick rundown of the packaging and all the accessories so that you can have a good idea of what to expect. Upon opening the box, all the components are well protected as you can see here, and since it's on the top of the line Swift lineup, you'll get pretty much everything you need and more. We have the solidly built V-shaped base with a nifty attachment, more on that later. Then we have an adapter for VESA mount compatibility and a center cap with the replaceable RGI logo. We also have a few blank templates and a different RGI logo. We also have a power cable here and a nice mesh bag that houses most of the cables and other accessories packed in their own plastic protection. So we have another power cable here, a USB Type-B to Type-A port for the built-in USB hub, a USB Type-C to Type-C for a single cable laptop connection with 90 watts power delivery, an HDMI cable, and a DisplayPort cable. We also have a couple of power rating stickers and a color calibration testing report which you can take a screenshot of for reference. We also have a nice microfiber cloth, a set of ROG stickers, a user guide, a safety guide, and the usual VIP member notice booklet. As for the main components, they are also well protected. We have the support bar, which is made out of a combination of hard plastic and solid metal construction with a few nifty features up its sleeve. More on that later. The assembly process, as with most ASUS and ROG monitors, is pretty straightforward. Just slide the support bar in and secure it in place with the built-in locking mechanism. Now, unlocking it is equally easy as well. Then finally, insert the V-shaped support base and lock it in place using the integrated screw. If you haven't noticed already, the support bar has an LED at the bottom that when illuminated, projects the iconic RGI logo on the surface of your desk. While completely unnecessary, no doubt it adds to the overall premium flashy aesthetic ROG is known for. And yes, as I alluded to earlier, this is replaceable and you can also create your own logo using the included blank templates. Now, if you wish to mount this on a monitor arm, you can also choose to use the included VESA mount adapter with the same setup process. And that's pretty much it for the assembly process, which is also included in our first reason why you should consider the ROG Swift OLED PG27UCDM, which is its design and build quality. In front, we have a 27-inch panel, well, 26.5-inch to be exact, with an anti-reflection surface. Not quite glossy, but definitely not matte. You may observe through the rest of this video that the reflections are not as obvious compared to my ROG Strix XG27AQDMG with a glossy WOLED panel. More on this later when we discuss about its display quality. Now, while the bezels are not uniform all around, like not at all, even on the sides and on top, they are at least relatively slim. At the back, we have all the ROG aesthetic goodness, but also with tons of actual usable features like a variety of ventilations all around, and this monitor actually has a custom heatsink to keep the thermals in check. Of course, we gotta have some ROG branding here, including a massive illuminated RGI logo and an illuminated Swift branding here on the support bar. We also have a 1/4-inch thread up top for mounting things like camera, light, or what have you. We also have the usual module with the 5-way joystick and a couple of buttons at the back for the OSD controls and an illuminated RGI logo in front. We also have a nifty cable management hole here and a few more illuminations around the V-shaped base to top it all off. Now, in terms of I/O ports, we have 2 HDMI 2.1, 1 DisplayPort 2.1, a USB Type-C port that not only provides up to 90 watts power delivery, but can also doubles as a DisplayPort alternative. We also have a 3.5mm headphone jack, and on the other side, we have a USB Type-B port that enables the 3 USB 3.2 Gen 1 Type-A ports and a power port. As for the adjustment options, we basically have everything here. You can adjust the height from 0 to 100mm, swivel it left and right up to 30 degrees, tilt it up and down from 20 to -5 degrees, and pivot it up to 90 degrees for portrait orientation. However, I'm not a fan of this V-shaped base as it takes more space on your desk compared to a square-shaped base. With that said, we can't deny that it looks better overall. Now, the second reason why you should consider the ROG Swift OLED PG27UCDM is of course its outstanding display quality. As per my testing using my Datacolor Spider X Pro display calibration tool, it covers at least 100% sRGB, 90% NTSC, 92% Adobe RGB, and 98% P3 color gamut, which is close to its 99% DCI P3 specified rating. And this is on wide gamut color space setting in OSD with 200 nits brightness, which is the recommended level for my current desk setup. That is 81% brightness in OSD settings. Now, I was curious, so I also tested it in sRGB mode, which resulted in 100% sRGB, 84% NTSC, 86% Adobe RGB, and 94% DCI P3. And also in DCI P3 mode, which gave us basically the same result. So based on this, the wide gamut color setting in OSD yields the best color coverage. And for your reference, this is with calibration off and with calibration on. As for the brightness in terms of nits, here are the results. As you can tell, its peak brightness is around 292.1 nits, which match or even exceeds its rated 100% APL specified brightness of 215 nits. Aside from color accuracy and brightness, this monitor also excels in terms of panel quality. Thanks to the OLED panel, blocks are completely pitch black as you can see here. You can even distinguish the edges of the bezels. Even looking at the sides, there's no backlight bleeding because each pixel are individually self-lit. This is absolutely awesome for pretty much anything, may it be for media consumption, gaming, or even for general day-to-day tasks. As you can see here, you can barely tell the difference when the monitor is on or off, aside from the illuminated ROG Eye logo. It also doesn't have any imperfections or dark spots on a white background on all sides compared to other types of panels. As you can see, the colors are super vibrant, blocks are completely black, resulting in deep contrast. Clarity and sharpness is outstanding thanks to its high pixel per inch density of 166 at 4K resolution and just an overall nice piece of hardware to look at every single day. I actually like the fact that it's not completely glossy, which means reflections are not that apparent compared to a glossy OLED panel. However, I noticed that it has this kind of red tint to it on the reflections using different white lights here in the studio. But I don't think it affects the overall image quality and accuracy. I just wanted to point that observation out. Overall, this is by far one of the best gaming monitors that I've tried in terms of display quality. And that doesn't stop there because the third reason why you should consider the ROG Swift OLED PG27UCDM is its decent text clarity and comfort, which I cannot say the same with my ROG 6 OLED XG27AQDMG with a WOLED panel and a less than ideal sub-pixel layout. With the 4th generation qd-oled panel partnered with high pixel density, as you can tell, the sub-pixel layout is more compact than ever, eliminating the dreaded color fringing issues on OLED panels. The texts are as clear as you can get with this monitor, both with black text on a white background and white text on a black background, and also both in Windows and Mac OS. This is honestly making me jealous that I'm considering selling my ROG 6 XG27AQDMG for this. And yes, there's no color shifting as well on scrolling text. That's a problem in the past with old TN panels, and we're already years past that. So overall, no more issues here when it comes to text clarity. Aside from text clarity, this monitor also doesn't suffer from any auto brightness adjustment issues found on other OLED displays. As you can tell, the brightness level remains the same when resizing windows. It also has a feature called uniform brightness, which allows for consistent brightness across the screen for a more comfortable viewing experience. We also have an OLED anti-flicker feature that you can enable if your eyes are sensitive enough. Now, the fourth reason why you should consider the ROG Swift OLED PG27UCDM is the fact that it's packed with tons of features, necessary or not. Aside from the fancy design and lighting around the monitor, we also have some features that you can take advantage of via the OSD settings. I'm not going to tackle every single setting here, but what's important is that we still have all the typical ASUS Game Plus and game visual features, the uniform brightness and anti-flicker feature that we've tackled earlier, the different color spaces that we've tested earlier as well, and most importantly, we have a bunch of OLED care features here that should relieve your anxiety when it comes to OLED burn-in concerns. And what I find interesting here is the near proximity sensor, which automatically detects your presence and automatically turns the screen black when you're away to further prevent burn-in. You can even set it to tailor mode, wherein it will automatically measure your distance from the monitor. By the way, you can also install the ASUS Display Widget Center application and control the same features using your mouse if you're into that. It feels more intuitive and you can even use hotkeys for quick toggles. Aside from that, as I alluded to earlier, you can connect your laptop to this monitor using a single cable, and it will provide both power and display, and it can charge your laptop up to 90 watts. And with the built-in KVM feature, you can easily create a dual machine setup like what I have here with a MacBook and a PC. This monitor supports a variable refresh rate ranging from 49 to 240 Hz at native 4K resolution, supports 10-bit color depth, and is G-Sync compatible. That leads us to the fifth reason why you should consider the ROG Swift OLED PG27UCDM, and that is its performance. With a 27-inch 4K qd-oled panel with up to 240 Hz refresh rate and 0.3 milliseconds GTG response time, you're pretty much all set for a decent competitive or chill gaming experience depending on your preference. The 4K resolution is quite ideal for RPG games and games that require high visual fidelity like Cyberpunk 2077 for example, and with the compressed 27-inch display, the clarity, sharpness, and pixel density are really outstanding. I've never seen Cyberpunk look this good on my PC. Granted, for this demonstration, I'm just running at 30 plus FPS because I'm still rocking an old RTX 3070 graphics card, but I can only imagine how smooth this will look on a capable machine. And even at 1440p, which gives me a decent 60 plus FPS, this game still looks good on this monitor. For competitive FPS games like Valorant, I'm still going to settle with 1440p resolution for better performance and ideal resolution scaling, but what's important here is the fact that it supports a pretty decent 240Hz refresh rate and 0.3 milliseconds gray-to-gray response time, which means ghosting and motion blur is essentially minimal with this monitor. And since I'm used to this specification on my ROG 6 OLED XG27A QDMG, which also supports 240Hz and 0.3 milliseconds response time, I'm honestly feeling at home with this monitor for gaming. And that's the 5 reasons why you should consider the ROG Swift OLED PG27UCDM. But what about the other things you need to consider? Well, I think the only consideration you have to make is if you really need that 4K resolution on a 27-inch display. Because to be honest, I think 4K resolution would be more beneficial on a bigger display like the ROG Swift OLED PG32UCDM. Not to mention, you'll need a beefier PC to fully take advantage of that higher 4K resolution. In my case, I think I'd be better off with the ROG 6 OLED XG27A CDNG, which shares most of the essential features like qd-oled, albeit only 3rd gen, 0.3 GTG response time, and panel finish, but only at 1440p resolution. It's even better in terms of refresh rate because it supports up to 360 Hz. But other than that, I don't see any other major considerations for buying this monitor, maybe other than the typical expensive price point. But yeah, if you have the budget, this is one of the best 27-inch 4K gaming monitors out in the market right now. And there you have it guys, thank you for watching. Huge thanks to ROG Philippines for letting me experience this monitor. Again, I just borrowed this from them, and this video is not sponsored or paid, and they'll see this at the same time as you do. I'll put some links below if you're interested. Now, if your interest was piqued by the current monitor that I'm using, which is the ROG Strix XG27A QDMG, you can watch my review of it by clicking this. Thank you for watching, subscribe if you appreciate this video, and see you next time. Have a great day guys, you're awesome.